Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And today, I'm going to show you something that's going to start your week off right. Because you know that big tactic that the left has been using against our gun rights of basically pushing through legislation that allows companies, manufacturers, sellers, distributors to be sued by the victims of gun violence. You know, pretty much anybody. And what that really has done is allowed the gun control groups to make that effect happen across the spectrum. Well, a big state in our beautiful country has now outlawed that practice. This is the first one. This needs to go everywhere. Let me know what you guys think in the comments field below. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. And the content today is sponsored by American Hartford Gold. I sat down with the CEO for a minute, and I want to show you an excerpt of that conversation, and I think it'll help you guys out in your financial planning. So check it out, and then we're going to get right back to this. Why is it still pertinent today? Because a lot of the tendency of people is to go, well, that's an older thing. We have modern ways to make money and invest. So what's the pitch to keep gold still relevant in a modern society?
Sure. Great question. And when you look at the money that we're printing and the rate that we're printing it right now, it's really just a hedge against fiat currency. It's a hedge against the dollar. Government spending's been a runaway freight train lately, and you probably notice when you go out to buy things right now, your dollar's just been kind of whittled down to nothing, and the dollar doesn't go as far as it used to. And so it's just a hedge against currency. You see central banks buying it up left and right. They're buying it at the fastest rate in 50 years right now, do as the central banks are doing. But it's just a hedge, just an insurance policy that people use against what's going on with the devaluing of these currencies.
All right, beautiful people. The state that we are going to dive into is Indiana. Now, what Indiana has done has gotten is basically a belly full of all of the lawsuits that are coming against gun manufacturers, distributors, sellers, all of those different individual entities that Everytown for Gun Safety has come out hard for. Basically, when the blue states opened up the ability for gun manufacturers to be sued at the behest of Everytown Law, Givers.org, March for Our Lives, all of them, that basically set it up for the gun control groups to come in with their money and their lawyers and fight on behalf of the individual states because they want to destroy the gun infrastructure. That's what they're trying to do. We did a video this week about Michigan where literally Everytown Law is coming in and running the entire lawsuit. This is what they're doing. It's their new little tactic. Well, Indiana just passed a law, and it was signed by a governor saying you can't do that anymore. Only the state is allowed to sue manufacturers step outside of their legal bounds. Check this out. This needs to be everywhere. Indiana governor signs bill mooting lawsuit against gun makers from Cam Edwards from Bearing Arms. Check this out. These details are awesome. The city of Gary, Indiana's long-running lawsuit against major firearm manufacturers has been shot down by Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb. Now, this is the city of Gary, Indiana, suing the manufacturers, not the state of Indiana. Understand, city versus state. It's very similar to preemption, okay? Eric Holcomb, just a few days after the legislature gave its final stamp of approval to a bill that prohibits any cities or other political subdivisions from suing a firearm or ammunition manufacturer, trade association, seller, or dealer over the design, manufacture, importing, or exporting, distribution, advertising, marketing, sale, or criminal, unlawful, or intentional use of their products. Effectively, they are stopping and cutting off right at the source the ability for Everytown Gun Law to come in and basically take over the case of smaller cities. That's what they just did. They neutered the entire strategy in the state of Indiana. That is key, and we need to see more of it. Check out what he said about this, because this is basically doing the old Heisman to the PLCA workaround that the gun controllers have been doing for the last several years. Check this out. Holcomb said after signing the new law that he expects it will finally resolve Gary's gun lawsuit in a manner favored by the Republican-controlled General Assembly. Quote, while HEA 1235 does not impede families or businesses from legally challenging gun manufacturers, retail stores, or trade associations, it does bring closure to a long-standing statewide legislative debate. This bill brings certainty that only the state, not political subdivisions, can bring forward such a lawsuit in the future, Holcomb said. That is key because now the individual cities can no longer do it. Understand, that is key. All right? Check this out. Last thing. HB 1235 is essentially an extension to the state's firearm preemption law, which prohibits political subdivisions from adopting their own gun control ordinances and instead leaves gun policy in the hands of the legislature, where it should be, by the way. Under the measure, the Indiana Attorney General's office is the only governmental entity that could file this type of litigation in the future, which means that the gun control lobby is out of luck when it comes to recruiting Democrat-controlled cities in the state to sue the firearms industry out of existence. That's exactly what they've been doing, and that is what they can no longer do in the state of Indiana. This needs to be nationwide. Now, on a federal level, the PLCAA prevents this. But on a statewide level, which is where the gun controlling apparatus go after, they consistently try to utilize government cities to impact a larger state because they have found it to be an effective tactic. They have now shut that door. So all you've got now is the door left open for individual businesses or families, but the states can only do it now from a political organization, and that's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.